Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today we're discussing a model family launched at Basel World 2009 from Glashütte Original of Germany. This is the Senator Chronometer. The watch is a dead ringer for a 19th century or early 20th century navigation clock. These marine chronometers, as they were called, were the number one way to navigate a ship precisely in the era before electronic signals and particularly GPS. So this watch has a dial that recalls those while adding modern elements such as a day-night indicator and a date. Now the watch is big, but it's purposefully large. We'll see that on the other side. So 42 millimeters in diameter in rose gold. It's reasonably slim at 12.2 millimeters. From lug tip to lug tip, 48.5 millimeters with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. I'll throw this watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. And you can see that it's a big watch. It wears a lot like my old 42 millimeter JLC Duomet. It's thinner than that watch, and it's a little bit shorter across the wrist. This watch will wear well on a wrist, in my estimation, my size or larger. So if your wrist is 16 centimeters circumference and up, this is going to be a good fit. It's a comfortable watch. It's nicely made. It has a reassuring heft and solidity to it. And while that might sound elementary with a big expensive gold watch, somehow it's not universal in the industry. This, though, gives me little to complain about. We have a high-grade strap, you can see. It is a Glashütte Original factory strap. Wonderful calf leather on the bottom, no crimping, no gouging. Alligator leather on the top, large scale, medium brown, a little bit of a semi-gloss finish, some bolstering to add volume, a folded edge, and a monotone stitch. If you look very carefully, you can see that there's a little recess in the flank of the case designed to allow the strap to move freely without aggressing against the gold finish. Little details matter here. You can see Louisiana alligator, probably the only American origin components on this watch. We have a folding clasp. Looks like it's made by Brogioli. That's why it has a Swiss hallmark on it from a German watch. And you can see for many years, Glashütte Original used a fixing screw. So what happens is when the pin goes through the strap on the other side, the fixing screw then goes in to make sure the strap can't pull through the buckle. And this is definitely the surest way to prevent that happens. You just got to be very comfortable with the particular hole you've chosen. Now the clasp is quite secure and as you can see quite massive and reassuring. It has a friction fit snap shut closure that's quite secure, though this isn't a sports watch, make no mistake. And then we have a combination of satin and polish with a little bit of media blast on the clasp. The case is fairly simple, polish and satin. You can see the satisfyingly sharp break between lug and case, but also a design trick often used by watch designers to give bigger, fuller lugs without creating a thicker watch. You can see how the lug sort of rides up the side of the bezel. That allows it to be a little bit bigger and better matched the volume of the case without actually forcing the bezel to sit on top of the lug, which would create an awkwardly thicker watch. You can see there are several steps to the bezel right here. The bezel's all polished, and then we have this little index that is used for jumping the panorama datum or the outsized date, which uses flush discs. Taking a look all the way around, you can see it's polished in between the lugs. The crown is Geo branded. And then on the dial side, we have this lovely sort of eggshell-toned granular lacquered dial. When this watch was made, it was sold in 2022, the dial was probably still made in Pforzheim. I understand recently Glashütte Original has relocated its dial manufacture to be closer to its primary assembly halls in Glashütte. Now the dial is designed to look like a vintage marine chronometer. This is a modern watch in more ways than one. A lovely and handsome dial. The first surprise and delight feature is the unique setting system. When I pull the crown out, not only does it stop the balance, but it resets the seconds hand to 60. And I believe that when the watch runs out of energy, the hand actually stops at 60. But that I've seen before. What's a little bit more remarkable is that the minute hand is designed to jump in 1 minute increments. So you turn it click, 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 click. If you really try, you can get it hung up in between, but for the most part, it is incredibly easy to set precisely to the minute. And this works in either direction. So you can easily set in either direction to the minute. And I'm not doing anything particular here. I can set it very quickly, but I can feel the detent for each individual minute as I do this. I just think it's incredibly cool that this system is designed to set precisely to the minute while also giving you 0 reset seconds. Easy to synchronize to our reference time. Another feature worth mentioning, we'll go back to that for a second. See how there's a little aperture on the power reserve scale? That is a day-night indicator for the time on the dial. So you can see now we are, for example, looking at 8 p.m. right there. The power reserve indicator represents the autonomy of the watch, and it is a chronometer style power reserve indicator, much like you find on FP Journe watches that feature the word chronometer in their names. The power reserve is designed after a marine chronometer, and it was important always to wind a marine chronometer at exactly the same time every day. So it wasn't important to know how much longer it could run before it would stop, but how much longer until you needed to wind it. So basically what you're looking at, if you're winding a watch daily, you need to know exactly 24 hours since the last winding. That's the time to wind, which is why a chronometer-style power reserve indicates the time since last wound. And when it hits 24, you wind it. Chronometer. It is a chronometer via the DIN 8319, which is very similar to the ISO 3159 that underpins the COSC chronometer test. But this is a German chronometer, and it's the Office of Weights and Measure in the state of Thuringia, also known as the Thuringian Regional Institute for Metrology and Gauging. So it is a German chronometer, and although the standards are largely those of the ISO 3159, the difference here is that the German chronometer is tested and passed as a fully assembled watch, not as a bare movement as with the COSC. Also important, this watch comes with an extended chronometer timing card that realizes the average variation during this watch's 15-day chronometer test. The mean daily variation was 1/2 a second gained per day. Remember, chronometer is -4 + 6 per 24 hours, so this is much better. Turning it all over, the movement is impressive. 32.2 millimeters in diameter. You are looking at the caliber 5801. So 5801 is a large traditional German caliber where we have elements like a freehand engraved balance cock, black polished and beveled steel swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism, 3/4 style plate. We have golden chaton cups fixing jewels. The jewel cups then set in the bridge using the blued screws. Note we have the presence of both polished and blued screws here. You can tell by the design that that is a counter-threaded screw. And while it may look like a twin barrel movement, it's actually a single barrel movement. You can see double solarization on the ratchet wheel atop the barrel, 58 joules, and yes, adjusted in 5 positions. Very important for a chronometer certification. 50 meters water resistant, more than the dress watch standard of 30, but we're still not going to swim with this. Now, the movement includes other fine finishing elements, including satin within the planetary. You can see that we also have a black polished planetary. I would describe this not as a ratchet wheel, but upper wheel. And then you could see that we also have engine turning on the base plate, and we do have mirrored bevels on the edges of the bridges. Okay, now let's talk about technology. So the first thing is 44-hour power reserve, 4 Hz beat rate, 0 reset and minute indexing seconds. We got the 58 joules, 5-position adjustment. Now what's important to note here is that as you wind the watch, we have this planetary system that prevents a fluctuation of torque to the escapement. So the act of winding the watch is not going to cause dramatic fluctuations in the force being applied to the balance wheel. And that's why we have that. It's very similar to the planetaries that are often fitted to watches with a fusee and chain, so that the act of winding does not result in wildly inaccurate timekeeping during the winding process. That's why that is there. And again, we do have some lovely elements here, including the click, the polished click spring, polished and fired blue screws. It is a beautiful and exquisite watch from a great German manufacturer. Remember, the original Lange & Söhne is not the company we call Lange today. Glashütte Original is the true successor company to a lot of East German watchmakers, including a Lange & Söhne. So if you want a real Lange watch today from the unbroken lineage, that's actually a Glashütte Original. A very cool watch and one of my favorite model lines from the company. So if you love this watch as I do, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase, and pricing details.